Hi everyone, this is Ellen Patrick and I'm here to guide you in Mindfulness Meditation Monday, an opportunity to reset your day and unwind your mind. So I'm happy to have you here. And since we've got a couple of minutes before starting, I wanted to share with you, I had a lot of fun this afternoon going into a crystal store and bookstore and buying a lot of things to help support not only my meditation practice, but yours as well. And so I've always suggested having a candle or a crystal. So I bought this new crystal today, which is actually green moonstone. It's a crystal of new beginnings. It's also associated with the moon. So it's a great stone to use if there's a new moon or a full moon. But yeah, this is beautiful. I'm just so excited about this. So I'm going to use this as my crystal for our meditation. And then I got a candle holder, which I'm just in love with. This is a mudra, a hand placement that is used for contemplation and meditation. So I have that for my candle, and I'm going to light that right now before we begin. And again, this is symbolic of dispelling the darkness of our shadow side, of our negative mind habits. And so we have the candle lit. If you've got one, please light that now, or just know that I've got a candle here for you. And I'm using it to dispel the darkness too. And so having crystals, having a candle, help to amplify the positive energy that we are trying to create for ourselves from a meditation practice. So it's not that you have to have these things, but it just helps to set an intention, to be clear about why you've come to sit in meditation, why you want to learn more about meditation. And and they're nice to have around your sacred space, wherever you might have that. I know we don't all have room. This room that I'm using now is my guest bedroom, my office, and my yoga meditation room. So it serves many purposes, and I just really enjoy having these sacred crystals and other objects to surround me and just to remind me, to get me grounded again, and a reminder to let go of the negativity that our minds tend to create. And so it's 5:30. Yeah, so hi Ratna, how are you? Nice to have you here. And so today's meditation is actually a secret that I'm going to reveal to you. And that secret is that you are not your mind. Right? It's a secret because nobody seems to understand that. In fact, it took me a long time as well. But when I realized that I am not my mind, who I am is my spirit, my soul, that which is deeper inside of me, that which is really pure happiness, that which watches the workings of the mind. And that's what we tap into when we meditate. We're actually watching how our minds work. Hi, Adriana. Yes, you really need to wind down today. Good. I'm glad you're here. Yes. So let's begin the practice. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit, but get yourself comfortable. Feel comfort in your seat, in your pelvic bowl. Hopefully you're sitting on a cushioned chair or on a cushion on the floor. Okay. And let's take a couple of deep breaths. Adriana sounds like she needs it, so we'll keep her company by taking a couple of deep breaths, which helps to relax the nervous system. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. If it feels better to let go of that exhale with a sigh, do that, inhaling through the nose exhaling through the nose, or let it come out of your mouth as a sigh. And one more time, inhaling and exhaling. Lovely, lovely. So what I wanted to say about the mind is I'd like you to think about the mind as a computer processor. And it takes in information from our senses, from sight, from taste, from our skin, from touch, from hearing. I hope I covered all five. Oh, from smelling, right? So the mind takes in all this sensory information. And then it does its computations and it comes out with scenarios. It thinks. That's what the mind is supposed to do. But that doesn't mean everything the mind says is true. We've talked about this about a month or so ago. Doesn't mean everything that's being processed is true. Oftentimes things come up from the past, right? And so we are not the past. All we have is the present moment. We can fantasize about the future as well, but that's not here either, right? So I want to give you the opportunity to sit in meditation and see that there is a separation between the mind and the part of you that is watching the mind, the part of you that's listening and paying attention to the computations from the processing of our sensory experience, right? And then we can go into the process of, is it true? And then we can use our discernment, wisdom that we've been cultivating. We can use that wisdom. Hi, Ben. We can use that wisdom to decide, right? Is what it's telling me appropriate for the situation, right? And so for Ben who's just joining us, so the meditation is you are not your mind, right? The real you is the one who is watching the computations of the mind, the activity of the mind. Okay, so please close your eyes if that's comfortable. Otherwise, just take a view straight down in front of you, maybe with the eyes partially closed. And I'm going to read you something from a book by Tara Brach, who's a brilliant meditation teacher and a psychotherapist. The book is called Trusting the Gold. There was a Tibetan teacher who offers a simple phrase that can be a liberating reminder. Real, but not true. It means that although the thoughts and feelings we are experiencing are real, they are really happening. Their message and our interpretations are not necessarily the truth itself. At best, our thoughts and understandings are useful representations of reality. But because they are often fear-driven, they become distortions that can lead to suffering. So real but not true has become a valued tool for many students. When caught in unpleasant moods, irritation, anxiety, or depression, we can ask ourselves, what are we believing? And she says that usually she finds that she's been locked into some sense of being deficient, of falling short. And then she'll remind herself, real, but not true. Yet these are real thoughts and real feelings, but is it really true that something's wrong with me? Even just the inquiry, is this really the truth? Might this be real but not true? Shakes the solidity of the belief. There's more choice. I don't have to believe the beliefs. Remembering this mantra offers space around the tight and fearful thoughts, just enough so that we can find our way back to presence. Right? Real, our mind is displaying information based on our senses, so it's a real feeling, a real thought, but not necessarily true. And so when we take the place of the observer, we can ask ourselves these questions. We don't have to be left to the dictates of our mind, which is often negative. So allow yourself to just focus on your breath, your inhale and your exhale. Your breath will keep you anchored in the present moment. But inevitably, a thought, a feeling, a memory, a fantasy will pop up because the mind is processing. It's doing what it's meant to do. But is it true? Right? Over these last few months, we've been cultivating wisdom together. So as we take that back seat, the observer of our minds, which is who we truly are, not the mind itself, as we take the back seat and watch the mind process, we can use our wisdom to decide, is this true? For the most part, it's not, because we're not in the past or the future. The only thing that can be true is the present. And once you acknowledge whether a thought is true or not, you can come back to your breath without attaching to whatever came up. Just come back to your breath, noticing your inhale and your exhale. Until the next thought pops into your mind and the process begins again. And the beauty of meditation is that we always have the opportunity to begin again. And each time we begin again, we strengthen the muscles of mindfulness. Mindfulness is very much about how we relate to what we're thinking. And that's how we can decrease the suffering. When we use discernment, our wisdom, when we separate our thoughts in our mind from the observer who's watching the thoughts. So remember, you are not your mind. You are the observer of your mind. So I hope this practice gives you much to be aware of. I hope that it lowers the volume on the suffering that your thoughts, your feelings may be creating for you. So mindfulness meditation helps us to be able to relate to ourselves better. It helps us to relate to the thoughts of our minds. It helps us to develop a better relationship to ourselves. And so we come to the end of our practice. Feel free to stay a little while longer. And until we meet again next week, I wish you many blessings and a beautiful, beautiful evening. Thank you all. I'll see you soon.